It's all for you.
Just over 3 years after leaving The Walking Dead as showrunner, Glenn Mazzara is back to put the fear of God and the devil in you with Damien. Debuting on March 7th on A&E, the 10-episode Omen sequel literally picks up around 30 years after the Gregory Peck and Lee Remick horror classic about the son of Satan now being among us. Now, even with lots of glimpses from the 1976 Richard Donner-directed flick, a real fave of mine I have to admit, Damien the TV series is not a classic. But it does have the makings of a strong show, even if it's a bit of an archaeological dig to find them at first.
The devil has many names, identified by his number, 666.
First announced back in 2014 as a show for Lifetime before shifting over to A&E last April, Damien made a brilliant splash at Comic-Con last summer, with protesters and religiously themed mini-comics being handed out of the streets of San Diego. Now on air, the result isn't nearly as finely executed, with scripts and the look of the Fox 21 TV studios produced series created and EP'd by Mazzara sometimes a bit dodgy, and even distracting like the liner notes of an overwrought death metal album. Distractions which, at least plot-wise, could have been easily solved by having a cell phone or a Google search, as war photographer Damien Thorne, played by iZombie regular Bradley James, struggles with discovering who he is and what he will become, both here and in the divine, that has a great interest in, let's just say the very least, in the outcome.
You must accept Christ as your savior.
What are you saying?
I know exactly who you are, Mr. Thorne.
Especially also to a Catholic church full of good book lore and killer priests. Though it should have a beware of dogs sign at the beginning of almost every episode I've seen so far, Damien won't test your faith. But once you get past the pilot, the bones of a good yarn do emerge. Even more so with Walking Dead alum Scott Wilson and a show-stealing Barbara Hershey on board. To varying degrees, the duo play powerful figures in the world of politics and otherwise that look over Damien's evolution from a confrontation with a mysterious woman in the ravaged hellhole of Syria to, well, becoming the Antichrist. The path that evolution takes is a pockmarked one, as I've said, with narrative IEDs all over the place. And that might be too much for some to want to press on. But Mazzara has proved to be a master of small screen horror in the past, and was instrumental in making Walking Dead the blockbuster it now is. So with that pedigree, and the legacy of the Omen itself, I say take a long view with Damien, and drink from the TV chalice it offers. You might enjoy the taste.
Welcome home, Damien.